Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I want to wish myself an early happy 4th of July because I'm feeling a lot freer to be myself ever since I began my art career, right? So I make a good side income from my art career. Not enough to live on, but enough that it buys me a heck of a lot of freedom at my day job. So as an adjunct professor, a lot of times the work is unpredictable, right? I'm always either overworking or underworking. But you know what? It beats other jobs where where I've experienced toxicity and all that. This is just the reality of what the students need, right? And after all, I do beat out that at a good wavelength with all the students, right? I only have problems with, in the past, in other jobs, I've only had problems with management, right? So it's not the end of the world. But a lot of times a contract will come, and by the time the contract arrives, I'm kind of starving for that work, right? Whether it be financially or socially in terms of the connectivity, a lot of times the contract will come and I'll be starving for work. There won't be any room to discuss it or think about it. You know, talk about toxicity. I had another job at a different school in the past. And this was in Seattle, Washington. The dean would come to me with this contract to sign. It was actually remote at the time because this was during COVID. And there would be something that I want to talk to him about, right? Whether it be negotiating the pay or a vacation date that I wanted or something like that, and I would try to call him. He would give me the contract to e-sign, and conveniently he would slither away, right? He would have an emergency, you know, got a family member who he has to tend to, had a house repair, he couldn't he couldn't even just call me or something. And so basically, he was presenting it like, to take it or leave it, right? And at the time, I was starving for the work. Right? You got to understand, I might not have been financially starving for the work, but I was definitely socially starving at the time. This was in 2021, where we were still half locked down and all that. You get the idea, right? Ever since I began my art project, I've run into that a lot less, right? I can now play the Uno reverse card on the dean, right? You know, why don't you call me, because otherwise I guess you'll have to find somebody else, right? Because there's some things that I want to make sure I'm doing my best work, right? So I have some questions that need to be ironed out before I sign. And otherwise, you know, our students are very valuable. I hate to do something that I don't know, right? Now I can actually say that, right? And I just said that to another college here in the Phoenix area, and that felt really good to say. It really did. Unfortunately, the art projects are kind of killing me in their own right, but they're buying me a heck of a lot of freedom. It's kind of reminiscent to my experience in a different arena in life 14 years ago. 14 years ago, I got myself in a very toxic relationship with a girl, in large part because I was starving for that experience, right? I needed somebody to go to a movie with. I needed somebody to go to dinner with. Ever since I realized that I didn't need somebody to do all those things with, I could actually be objective in the dating world, right? I could actually take my time, ask questions, not worry if she's going to find somebody else in the interim, and it buys me a lot of breathing room, right? Yes, I still want to go out with somebody, but now that I have other options, it's opened a lot of breathing room, right? Just last week, I was thinking about possibly going on a date, but I realized that there were so many things I wanted to do with my art projects. You guys saw, right? And I can't believe how much bismuth I melted in the space of just a few weeks. Last week was pure hell in terms of the art. I'm kind of burnt out now. I'm taking a break away from that stuff. Yesterday, even looking at that stuff made me sick. And I've never felt that way with bismuth. You know what? There is something that I do want to figure out in the coming weeks. So, most of my veteran viewers will know that in the last 15 years, I've had two major hobbies, right? First, it was writing the computer games, and then it was the metal casting art. Unfortunately, my computer games never took a life of its own like the art projects, and I hope to change that, because I do know a lot of things there, and but unfortunately I never made any social connections there. Certainly didn't make a side income there, and I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong over there and fix that. That way I'll have two different side hustles, and I'll probably feel a lot more balanced in that regard too, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.